Tooth and Claw, written by Alexis Keene, narrated by Christian J. Gilliland.
Chapter 1. 2 rooms across, I hear movement. The big humans, my pack, are up. Almost regretfully, I stretch out all 4 of my limbs, my muzzle opening in a wide, lethargic yawn. As I move, my back presses against something soft, something small, smelling of soap, cornflowers, and oranges. Katie, my human. My tail twitches, tapping against the blanket, and I turn around quickly. I plant one of the big slobbery kisses that Katie loves all over her face, from her tiny chin to her button nose to the wide blue eyes between angelic blonde curls. "Morning, Buck," she murmurs, still asleep but reaching for me. My tail taps the covers a little faster, a little more loudly, but I don't want to wake Katie up, not yet. The big humans in the other room are awake, and that means one thing. Food! Tribute! I bound off the bed and out the door as the big humans chuckle in the other room, able to hear me even with their poor senses. I leap down the stairs, taking them 2 at a time. My ears, covered in downy, well-kempt fur, flop against my face as I charge toward the tribute bowl, the metal tags on my leather collar jangling wildly. I sit by the bowl. A horde of cats couldn't move me from this spot. Movement at the edge of my vision catches my attention. There, through the see-through doors that always hurt my nose when I run into them. Temptation, several of them. They stare at me mockingly with their thin, rat-like faces and their long, fluffy, bushy yellow tails streaked with white and gray. Squirrels! I want to chase them, but I keep my backside planted next to the tribute bowl. Nothing will move me, not even the temptation. Then one of the squirrels runs up to the glass door, its little rodent nose a-twitching. I don't like where this is going. Oh, dear. "Geez, Buck, cut it out!" the human with the deep voice shouts from the top of the stairs. I come to my senses, standing on my hind paws. My forepaws are pressed flat against the cold glass, claws scratching futilely against the cruel surface that keeps me from the temptation. The squirrel is long gone now, so I drop back down on all 4 paws and turn around, seeing the human, the tall one with the square face, dark hair, and blue eyes, peering at me from above the banister. He caught me in the act. A small whine escapes my throat. Well, this is embarrassing. Wait a minute. Wait! I have a brilliant plan! Maybe if I forget about it, he'll forget about it too! I purge the embarrassing situation from my mind and sit back by the tribute bowl. The big human, the humans call him Jeff, nods, then goes back upstairs. When he returns, he lugs 2 large bags downstairs, one under each arm, and places them by the door. Then he approaches me and pours a glorious stream of kibble into the bowl. My tail wags a little faster, but I do not move. I wait and wait and wait. It's torture at its best. Or worst? I'm not sure. The big human looks at me, then nods. "Go on, Buck. Good boy." I recognize those words even if I don't understand them. It means that it's time to eat. Dignity to the wind, I descend upon the bowl, gobbling down my food before it runs away. It's nowhere near as good as table scraps, but I'm not complaining. Much. I hear a tut from above, but I don't look up. "Greedy pig," Jeff mutters. Ah, this is the life. Once I'm done, I'm let outside to do my business. The temptation and I have plenty of it, and it's all unfinished. One spots me as soon as I spot it, and it breaks into a run toward the nearest tree. I, of course, being a proud and self-respecting canine, chase it, barking at the top of my lungs. "That's right, you better run! Not so tough now, are you, little guy? The glass door of doom can't protect you now!" I almost have it in my jaws when, with a graceful leap, it sails the last of the distance toward the tree and latches onto the bark with stubby claws. It skitters up the side before turning and chattering down at me, mocking me. And just like that, I lose control again. This time, the big humans don't shout at me. After several minutes of cathartic barking up the right tree, I forget all about the squirrel, which has long since fled, and do my actual business outside. Keeping the temptation away is hungry work. Squirrels are a menace, but I do it anyway. For the pack, I'll keep them safe. No matter what, I'll keep Katie safe. The thought reminds me. I miss Katie. I need to go see her. I sprint upstairs, tongue dangling out of the side of my mouth as I run. I dash toward her room and leap onto the bed, surrounded by the smell of cornflowers and oranges, before soaking her face in kisses. She wakes up with a happy squeal, blue eyes opening. "You, Buck! Gross! Stop it!" She says this every morning. Unlike most of the other noises humans make, I know exactly what these words mean. Katie wants more kisses. I'm happy to oblige. Chapter 2. Time passes slowly as the humans do human things around the house before coming down to the kitchen to eat. Katie bounces down the stairs with her favorite plushie, a rabbit called Mr. Flopsy, in her arms. I gaze at her expectantly, psychically projecting my hunger toward her. As usual, she slips me a few scraps of bacon beneath the table. I lick my chops and gobble the scraps out of her hands, licking her greasy fingers under the table as the glorious taste melts over my tongue. She giggles and I lie down, content, and slowly doze off with my head on my paws. All of a sudden, the humans are moving. "Are you excited to stay at your grandparents', Katie?" the big humans ask as they walk toward the door. Katie nods as she puts on her shoes, and my tail helicopters in excitement. I know what putting on shoes means. It means we're going for a walk. The pack laughs at my antics as I romp around their legs. "Maybe later, Buck. Maybe later. Good boy, good boy." The smaller of the humans, Sarah, praises me, long blonde hair framing blue eyes that are crinkled at the corners, and her radiant smile tells me I've done well. I sit by the door, tail a-wagging, basking in their praise. The humans slip on their shoes and pick up the 2 bags. "Are you ready, Katie? Okay, let's go," Sarah says. The door opens, a magical portal to the outside world full of incredible sounds and scents waiting to be smelled. Maybe I'll even mark the tree that bitch Karen marked 2 days ago. However, no sooner do I attempt to step outside than a leg blocks my progress, and the 3 humans, my pack, brush past me, hurrying toward the car without me. They're going without me. I give a small whine. The shorter of the big humans turns back to me. Stay, Buck. Good boy. We'll be back soon." The praise gives me confidence. Maybe they're not leaving after all. My tail wags with feverish hope as the shorter of the big humans places the bag she was carrying by the car and walks toward me. I jump to my feet, my tail moving so fast it might catch on fire. The human has come to take me with her. "Good boy," Sarah says and closes the door in my face. I lie down by the door, whimpering as I listen with rapidly fading hope to the voices outside. Then, through the crack in the door that always lets in a cool draft when it's hot, I hear Katie say my name. My hero! My human's coming back for me! I hear footsteps. The door opens and Katie gives me a big, warm hug, blonde curls a-bouncing. My savior, she's convinced the pack not to abandon me. I demonstrate my gratitude by planting several sloppy kisses all over her face, eliciting her usual response. Then she's gone, the door closing once again in my face. I hear the familiar sound of the car starting, with me not inside it. It rolls onto the road with a slight bump, and the engine revs. And slowly, tormentingly, the sound of the pack's car fades into the distance. It's too much to take. I howl at the closed door, begging them not to leave me behind, but I don't think they can hear me. They're too far gone. The pack has abandoned me. I feel a slight prickling behind my ears, but I ignore it. This situation is too serious for idle scratching with my hind paws. With nothing else to do but wait, I press my nose to the crack beneath the door, trying to make out the freshest patch of their scent trail, taking comfort in the faint whiff of cornflower and orange. But as I sniff it, my nose pressed close against the wood, the smell only gets fainter and fainter. For who knows how long I wait. All of a sudden, I'm hauled out of my personal pit of loneliness and despair as the prickling returns in force. It's a foreign feeling, but I instantly recognize it for what it is. Danger. Not just for me, but for Katie, my human. I stand and scratch at the door, whining. Katie's in danger. I dash around the house, looking for a way outside, but the house is sealed up and the prickling is intensifying. Now it's an invasive ache that makes my hackles rise and my tail drop, my teeth baring in an involuntary growl. Danger! Enemy! Katie's in danger, my pack's in danger, and my pack is far away! I growl again and snap at the air, trying to tear the horrible sensation from the world with teeth, but I find nothing. The feeling continues. Suddenly, it's as if I'm choking. I can't breathe. I roll on the floor, trying to scratch away the feeling on the doormat. Body racked with unbearable pain, the doormat seems smaller than I remember, barely enough to scrape away the unbearable itch. The choking feeling around my neck tightens before, with a sudden snap, the feeling stops. A screen flashes in front of my eyes, conveying to me, with sight and scent and sound, a simple message. Would you like to form a bond with Katie? Yes. No. For the first time in my life, I truly understand something that's not another dog or Katie asking for kisses. In an instant, I make my choice. Yes! And just like that, another series of screens flashes before my eyes. Through Katie's actions, you have gained a class. Basic class, Beast Bonded. A beast tamer forms a lifelong bond with their animals. For a beast bonded, that bond lasts through death. Rather than allowing for the taming of multiple animals, a beast bonded may only bond with a single animal. Class abilities: +1 per level in strength and constitution, +2 per level in perception, additional 2 free attributes per level. Class skills unlocked. 1 class skill available to be distributed. Would you like to do so? I understand the meaning of the screen's contents. But Katie is still in danger. I try to walk, but the screens remain in front of my eyes, and I slam head first into a wall. Annoyed and confused, I brush away the screens with a paw, and surprisingly, they disappear. I see the broken drywall in front of me. Oh dear, I think I did a bad thing. The part of the wall that I impacted is cracked in places. The smell of dust and powdered plaster puffs out around me. But what surprises me is the height at which the fractures in the wall are placed. Everything seems smaller now, and it takes me a moment to realize that I am what has grown. I turn around and see a thin strip of leather lying by the doormat. My collar! Except it's not on my neck anymore. One side of it has snapped. Absently, I scratch my neck, remembering the choking sensation that had overcome me. If the collar hadn't broken, I might have choked as my neck grew too big for it. I'm tired, and my neck is still in pain, but Katie is in danger. So, without much thought as to how not a good boy I am being, I seize the broken collar in my enlarged jaws and jump through the nearest window. The breaking glass reminds me lots of shouting, like the first time I broke the glass door of doom. Glinting shards cut into my belly and the pads of my paws, but the pain fades quickly and my wounds with it. Anyway, there's no time to dwell on pain. I have to find my pack. They are in danger. I know it. I can smell it in the air. I sniff where the car was, committing the scent of the tires and everything they touch to memory, particularly the roadkill from 2 days ago. A decaying frog, I think. Strong, earthy, and bursting with the sickly sweet twist of rot. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I hear the frantic shouts and screams of people inside their houses or on adjacent streets, as well as the distinct lack of running engines. But the noises don't matter to me. Only one thing holds any importance at the moment, and that is finding my pack. I set off down the road, pursuing the trail of the frog on the car's wheels. With my nose close to the ground, I run as if my life and my pack's lives depend on it. Small critters, now massively enlarged, roam around the town as the first threads of smoke weave through the sky. The smoking shells of cars, the remnants of sudden and violent accidents snarl up the road, leaving behind the acrid smell of burnt rubber, hot metal, and leaking petrol. The surrounding screams get louder and more frequent as monsters rampage through doors and windows. Shatters are followed by dull thuds and thumps, and all too often, no more screaming. Hearing so many humans in distress makes me stop, but then I remember my goal. I need to find my pack, and these humans are not my pack. So, I keep on running, sprinting faster when several monsters turn their heads toward me and attempt to run me down. But I am too fast for them. I leave them all in my dust. As I leave town, the density of screams and smoke and accidents lessens. I follow the road up a gentle incline into a quiet pine forest, the air thick with the scent of fallen needles and sweet, sticky resin. Several trees rustle as I pass, but I pay them no heed except to give them a wider berth as I continue chasing my pack. I dash past a group of humans huddled together, shaking as they see me. I can smell their fear. I suspect it might be due to my increased size. One of them raises a long metal tube toward me. A thunderclap rings out, and I feel as if I've been punched in the hindquarters. I stumble, not quite realizing what's happened, even as the first hints of pain spread like sharp spider webs. However, a singular purpose consumes me. I power forward, and the man with the loud metal tube lowers it as he realizes that I'm not a monster intent on ripping him to shreds. Several of the women in the group shout at him, but I don't understand what they're saying. I don't care either. I just want to find my humans. The pain in my hindquarters has progressed into a frothing agony. I can't run as fast, but the strength of the scent I am following spurs me on. I follow the trail, climbing ever upward toward the mountains in the distance, the air becoming increasingly unpolluted as I pull away from the town. The pain fades quickly, and my speed returns to normal. A slug of metal, smelling of brass, blood, and smoke drops from my side. I continue for interminable hours until fatigue overwhelms me. My humans are close now. The smell of rot from the roadkill that coats the tires is stronger, but my muscles ache, and I don't think I can run any farther. I'm tired and hungry and alone, and my pack isn't here to make any of the aches go away. Whimpering, I curl up beneath a bush and lick my wounds. Chapter 3. When I wake, the world is crisp and clean and the air is clear. It must have rained during the night. The pain of overexertion has passed, but I give my hindquarters an examinatory lick to make sure I'm okay. My skin is unmarked, but a slight patch of hair on my flank is shorter than before. I give a noisy yawn, then pause as a familiar scent wafts toward my nostrils. A new one, giving the cleansing effect of the rain that washed away scents and tracks. Even in my dozy state, the scent sends a shiver of excitement down my spine, vibrating through my tail. I poke my head out of the bushes. Nothing. Droplets of water and dew cover leaf and grass alike, making the forest and road smell muted and muffled, emphasizing the familiar scent of the temptation. Slowly, making as little sound as possible, I slink out of the bush, following my nose toward the scent. I hear a large rustle in the bushes before me, a squeak, taunting me, daring me to come chase it as it flees into a tree, as it has so many times. But not this day. Today, victory will be mine. A screen flashes in front of me, something about stealth. I bat it away. Now's not the time. Throwing caution to the wind, I charge through the bushes, eager to finally seize my prey. Foliage explodes around me as I accelerate, leaping toward my quarry. And then I see it, hulking and huge. I try to halt my charge, try to skid to a stop, but I'm too late. The ground beneath me is slick with dew, and I slide straight into the side of 𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗂𝗍𝒃. I bounce off its side and fall to the ground. Horror of horrors, the giant squirrel's nose twitches. Its head turns toward me, bushy gray tail twitching like a spaniel struck by lightning. Not prey! Not prey! With one paw, it swipes at me, but at the last moment, I roll to the side, evading its questing claws. Yelping in surprise, I scramble away, but the monster leaps over me, heading off my escape. No, definitely not prey! It takes another swipe at me, and I dodge again, backing away slowly. Even with my growth, the squirrel is larger than me, but I can't run. I growl at it menacingly, trying to exude a confidence I don't feel. I eye the monster, trying to get a sense of what it'll do next. Then, another ground squirrel, one of the smaller kind, skitters up a nearby trunk. Out of habit, I stare at it. As I'm distracted by the big squirrel's buddy, the squirrel swipe strikes me on the side and sends me careening into a tree, whimpering and yelping in pain. I heave myself to my feet. Fine. If this is how you want to do it, have it your way. I charge the oversized squirrel, ducking beneath its hasty counterattack. Launching onto its back foot, I bite down hard. I maul its leg, feeling my teeth scrape against bone as I shake my head from side to side, trying to rip and tear tendons and flesh as quickly and as savagely as possible. The squirrel whirls, slamming a lumbering paw into my torso, trying to dislodge me. All four of my feet leave the ground, but my jaws are firmly attached to the squirrel. As it takes me for a ride, I hold on for dear life, and its life trickles away between my teeth. The squirrel spins me straight into a tree. I'm winded by the impact, and my grip loosens. I collapse in an aching heap. The squirrel looms over me as my ribs shift, sending shooting pain through me with each breath. Vengefully, its flat teeth clamp down around my forepaw, and it shakes me with vicious jerks of its head. Between the haze of agony as my life bleeds away and my ribs rattle within me, I manage to grasp its neck between my jaws. The dumb monster continues to shake me. Both of us ignore the pain as we maintain our death grips on each other. My grip is deadlier. It gives my leg a sadistic jerk, almost tearing it off, but my jaws are still clamped around its throat, and the squirrel pulls hard. It aids in ripping out a bloody chunk of its own neck, its heart pumping a rhythmic pulse of arterial spray onto the ground. Several notifications pop up in front of me, but I brush them aside. Embracing my instincts, I wolf down the goblet of warm, fur-covered flesh, then clamp my teeth onto the wound once more. Hot blood gushes around my teeth, some pouring into the back of my throat. The monster weakens, no longer tossing around my abused body, and we both impact the earth hard. I lie there for what seems like hours, unable to move, unable to pry its jaws from my paw in my current pitiful state. Slowly, however, the aches in my ribs and legs abate, and I notice the screen that pops up in front of me. Level up ×2. You have reached level 3 as a beast bonded. Stat points automatically distributed. You have 4 free attributes to distribute. 1 class skill available to be distributed. Would you like to do so? From the sense the message gave me, this is a good thing. I just don't know how to actually allocate my free attribute points. As if responding to my thought, a new screen appears in front of me. Intelligible in a somewhat surreal way, since I had no real grasp of numbers prior to this, it all makes sense. Maybe it's the bond with Katie, or something else, but I find myself slowly coming to grips with counting and numeracy, abstract concepts though they are. Status screen. Name, Buck. Class, Beast Bonded. Race, Canine, Scotch Collie, Male. Level, 3. Titles, none. Health, 100. Stamina, 100. Mana, 50. Status, normal. Attributes, strength, 13. Agility, 16. Constitution, 10. Perception, 26. Intelligence, 5. Willpower, 5. Charisma, 17. Luck, 11. Skills. Tracking, 4. Athletics, 2. Natural weapons, 2. Sense danger, 1. Stealth, 1. Class skills, none. Spells, none. Perks, none. It seemed that I had gained several levels in tracking, probably a result of chasing the pack, as well as 4 other skills from my fight. With 4 points to spend, I put 2 in willpower and 2 in intelligence. I have noticed a surge in my strength, vitality, and senses from my automatically assigned attributes, but somewhere deep down, I know I need more intelligence so I can be more like the humans. Am I doing this counting thing correctly? Given that on subsequent tries I am unable to allocate further points, I guess I am. And what were the other things? Class skills? I have 2 of those, right? Upon the mental prompt, a new window opens. Class skills, column 1. Wicked Claws. Rending Strike. Bulwark. Reactive Assault. Calamity. Class skills, column 2. Swiftfoot. Sure Stride. Shadow Dash. Dimensional Jaunt. World Stepper. 3 skills occupy the intersection between the first and second columns. A skill called Blackpaw branches off from Rending Strike on the first column at the second tier, then progresses to Rift Strike at the third tier, which requires the Shadow Dash skill. The third of the intersecting skills, called Sacrificial Protection and located at the fourth tier, requires Reactive Assault and Dimensional Jaunt to be taken from the first and second columns. Class skill, column 3. Improved Senses, Toughened Hide, Zone of Eyes, Greater Detection, All-Seeing Eye. From the Improved Senses skill at the first tier on the third column branches off a skill called Adapted Observation. My class skills are divided into 3 categories: combat, mobility, and utility. Only the first row is actually available to me, though. The second through 5th are only available at increasing increments of 10 levels each. As much as I want to take a combat ability, I'm in a corner at the moment. I have to find Katie and the pack before something terrible happens. Swiftfoot would let me reach them quicker, but without improving my senses, I can only follow the road. Perhaps I won't even be able to follow that, since the rain during the night has probably scoured it of the easier-to-track scents. Coming to a decision, I spent my first and second class skills. Class skill acquired. Improved Senses, level 1. Effect: user's sensory range is expanded, allowing you to hear sounds of higher and lower frequencies, view an expanded range of wavelengths of light, and more. Additionally, mana may be sacrificed to temporarily increase your perception attribute by an equivalent amount when this skill is activated. Observe skills, class skills, and your perception attribute will influence the effectiveness of this skill. This skill can be boosted with additional mana. Mana regeneration is permanently reduced by 5 mana per minute. Active cost, 1 mana per minute per point of perception gained. Class skill acquired. Adapted Observation, level 1. Effect: draws from the system to provide additional information on monsters and individuals encountered. Data is converted to be compatible with your olfactory system instead of visual system. Observe skills, class skills, and your perception attribute will influence the effectiveness of this skill. Cost: 1 mana per use. Immediately, I feel my vision growing clearer, sharper as the effects of the class skills come into force. And I see something new: red and green. Previously, green had appeared white, but now it has an actual color that is green. Even I recognize that as a lame explanation, but there's no other way to explain it. I see more. That's all there is to it. Something in my skull has changed, and green is suddenly a thing. I gaze at the corpse of the squirrel and find another surprise: red blood on a brown coat. Red used to be a boring gray, but now it's red. I really need to find a better way to think of this. And brown, which used to be a darkish grayish yellow, is a rich brown. I shake my head, ridding myself of the odd thoughts that bombard me as a result of my newfound intelligence. Thinking is uncomfortable. It's like having humans in my head. My stomach growls, and I squirm out of the ground squirrel's mouth, taking a bite out of its neck. As I do so, a gray box pops up with several hunks of meat inside, tender and juicy, and a brownish-gray pelt. After releasing the monster's neck, I prod at the contents of the box with my muzzle, surprised when I touch the meat inside. The gray box has given me tribute! Excited, I pull the food from the box, making the screen close. The body remains behind, but I have already gained too much meat from the gray box. I can't eat it all, plus the body in one sitting. Leaving so much food behind hurts me, but I scarf down as much of the tribute as I can. Then I go find my collar. I left it somewhere and I need to find it. The pack gave it to me when I was only a puppy. I backtrack to the bush where I slept and find the strip of red leather where I left it in my rush to defeat the temptation. Giving a growl of approval, I pick it up and meander to the road, keeping an eye out for more monsters. However, no matter how fervently I search, I can't find the pack's scent. It's there in faint hints and directionless splashes, but there's no trail to follow. The clear, unbroken line of odor was obliterated by the rain. I whimper. The pack's gone. I'm lost. I'll never see them again. Then I remember. I have 70 mana in the tank right now, and I just got improved senses. Doesn't it have an active ability? It allows me to spend mana to increase my perception. I immediately do so, spending 4 mana per minute, and bump my perception up to 30. With that done, I take a good long sniff at the road. The world dilates around me. I can detect the gravelly bituminous surface of the road, the smell of wet tarmac, and the overpowering fragrance of pines and damp needles. And beneath it all, so faint, there, I have it! A scent! The one I'm looking for! It's faint, even at 30 perception, but it's there! However, I won't be able to run while tracking, which means I boost my total up to 35, but it's not enough. At 37, the trail is far stronger, but it's still not sufficient to track while running. I'm guessing 40 won't be either. Throwing good sense to the wind, I bring it all the way up to 45. The world expands around me. Even the water has a scent. It's dusty and ever so slightly cool, but beneath that scent is another. Suspended within every droplet is the remnant of the path my pack took. I'm hemorrhaging mana, losing almost 1 mana every 3 seconds, and my regeneration can't keep up with it, especially with the permanent reduction from improved senses. In the time it's taken to look this far, I'm down to 51 out of 70 mana. The boost to my perception will last for 3.5 minutes. Then there will be nothing left. But the trail is there. Before me, my pack's trail spreads out like a golden path. I take a moment to remember the exact direction. Then I deactivate improved senses, letting the boost to my perception expire after 60 seconds have elapsed. But I remember the path the pack took. I race down the road, only turning on improved senses every now and then to confirm I'm going the right way. My tracking skill is increasing at an incredible pace thanks to boosting my senses. It seems there are benefits to abusing a perception score of 45 at level 3. As I run, I do the math. If I put all my future attribute points into perception, it would take me 5 more levels to passively reach what I am already managing. And that's insane. Able to smell and see everything, my tracking skill improves commensurately. I hit level 7 in the skill with little to no difficulty, and my progress shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. My stamina runs out faster than my mana, given that I'm not using improved senses all that often. Not that it's too much of a burden. I can still run for longer than I used to be able to by virtue of my improved constitution. I run, stopping for breathers every 20 minutes or so. My improved tracking skill is paying off. The trail is strong now, and in the distance, I see something. My human's car. Was it always red? I give a big wolfish grin and tear down the road toward it. A notification about a high-level zone appears, but I swat it away. I'm close now. The car is abandoned, not wrecked like some of those in town. The tank smells as if it's still half full of gas, which means the engine probably isn't working. I know how fast these things go. If they're not here, they went on by foot, and humans are so slow. I wait to recover my breath, then I set off along their trail, recognizing the smell of soap, corn flour, and oranges that belongs to Katie. As I chase them down, a story in scent form plays out before me. They walked around the car for a while, likely scratching their heads as the first of many notifications they would see appeared. Then they set off down the road in the direction they were going. If I remember correctly, 2 of the elderly sometimes pack, sometimes not pack, live close by. Not that I could say so with confidence. My memories from before I was able to increase my intelligence are fuzzy. What was the word? Grandparents. That was it. But suddenly, they veer off into the trees, leaving bags and possessions scattered behind them. A new scent trail, one that reeks of rancid sweat and danger, joins up with them. Their scent strengthens slightly as they run, dead skin shaken loose. The sweaty one follows, and it's big. Where the pack, my humans dart through bushes, leaving behind a trail of broken branches and scattered leaves, the sweaty one muscles through trees, leaving a trail a blind cat could follow. It pursues them slowly, spending time picking up their trail, and it loses them. I breathe a sigh of relief and continue tracking my humans, now up to a tracking skill of level 9. The wind shifts, and I smell something different. Damp fur and the smell of rotten meat billowing from hungry jaws. There are other monsters nearby, and they aren't following my humans. They're following me. As if waiting for that thought, the dappled shadows beneath the trees nearby shift and realign. 4 beasts with mottled black and green fur emerge, seemingly from the forest itself, tongues lolling out of their open mouths and long strings of saliva dripping from between their teeth. Their bodies are oddly canine, yet more muscular, but their heads are crested with antlers that resemble the branching boughs of trees. Their eyes are beady and well adapted to seeing in shadow and sunlight. Their paws glide silently over wet leaves as they stalk toward me, gazes fixed on me. They are predators through and through, obviously specialized in stealth. My class skill, Adapted Observation, activates as I see them. Information fills my mind, conveyed by sentences of phantom scent that twist within my nostrils. Chirinid, level 5. 3 of them are level 5, but one of them, slightly larger than the others, sits at level 6. I step back from them. I doubt I can easily defeat these things. They growl at me, bearing fangs with wolf-like menace, antler-topped heads tossing in irritation. For a moment, I feel a twinge of offense at their canine likeness, but that's replaced by fear. I turn and flee as the Chirinids announce their pursuit with yips and baying howls. I risk a backwards glance. They're closing in, silently gliding over the forest floor on flashing feet. I push my body further and accelerate. It's not enough to matter. These Chirinids are built for speed, stealth, and pursuit. They eat up the space between us with every stride, veering gracefully around bushes and trees. They're gaining on me. I can almost feel their hot breath on my heels now. Out of the corner of my eye, I see an antler sweep toward my leg, aiming to trip me and send me to the ground, and to their jaws moments later. I leap just in time. The head swipe makes the lead chirinid fall back as it regains its balance from its failed attack, but it's a temporary pause, and it soon rejoins its pursuit. I might not spot them next time, or they might flank me, box me in. I can't let that happen. I struggle to think up a solution, kicking my brain into gear. I glance back again. The chirinids weave around trees, antlers grazing leaves and twigs as they leap soundlessly over low-lying obstacles, but never getting close to trees or thicker vegetation. Realization slams into me like a 200-pound squirrel. Their antlers. They're affixed to their heads, so if they run too close to a tree, they'll end up impacting a solid object, like charging into a glass door. And unlike the glass door of doom, their necks will give out long before a tree trunk does. I spot a funnel of trees nearby, the verdant corridor's gaps connected by banks of shrub and bush. I angle toward it, pushing myself faster as my stamina drains. The chirinids are close now, but I break into the avenue of trees before them. I can feel their spittle flecking my hindquarters, and as the last of them enters, I veer through one of the smaller gaps, my body slamming painfully into a tree. But unencumbered by antlers, I make it. The chirinids screech to a halt, piling into each other as they struggle to stop. I remember my embarrassing days of struggling to fit through gaps too small to fit my frame, neglecting to go around the obstacle instead. I'm past that now. The chirinids aren't. They thrash their antlers against the nearest gap of trees, not even trying to fit through the bushes for fear of becoming hopelessly entangled. But I'm not done. I turn on my heels and charge back at the one working itself through the gap. Restricted as it is, it's unable to meet me properly, neither can it pull away in time. I stop short, and with a cheeky grin, I drop the collar from my mouth and seize its antlers in my jaws in a game of tug-of-war. Not expecting the change in tactics, the lead chirinid's feet give out as I yank its head, then tangle its antlers between branch and bush and tree. It thrashes as it realizes, too late, what I've done. I crouch under and around it, then tear at its throat and exposed belly. It dies in moments. As fast and as strong and as stealthy as they are, the chirinids lack resiliency. A level up notification appears, but I dismiss it. The other 3 chirinids are still milling around behind their leader, trying to disentangle themselves and back away from each other. I don't intend on giving them time to do so. Time for Phase 2. I bite into the defeated level 6 chirinid, letting a gray box pop up. Once again, tribute appears inside the box. My hopes have been realized. Like with the squirrel, the chirinid's tribute box contains meat, but more importantly, a rack of antlers, complete with a clean white skull. I pull the antlers out of the box and dart into the middle of the corridor. Balancing on the downed chirinid's corpse, I wedge the upper end of the antlers into a crooked bough above the dead monster and dig the tines of the lower end into the flank of the dead chirinid, providing another obstruction if the other 3 chirinids try to step over it. Then, I dart back before they have time to snap at me. A notification about tactics fills my vision, but I ignore it, rushing around to the beginning of the avenue of trees. The back chirinid's flank faces me, and it struggles forward when it realizes I'm now behind it. Its frantic actions cause more chaos, and the chirinids press up against the wedged antlers and skull of their former leader. I hamstring the chirinid and savage its spine until it falls still. I crawl over its cooling corpse and move on to the next. There's a savage song in my blood, wild and primal as I rip and tear through the monsters that make a mockery of the canine form. I work methodically, going for vulnerabilities and slicing the chirinids open with maximal efficiency. Yelps and whines fill the forest as I clean up, but by the end of it, all the Kyranids have been disposed of, and I have earned yet another level and several new skills. Level up ×2. You have reached level 5 as a beast bonded, stat points automatically distributed. You have 4 free attributes to distribute. 1 class skill available to be distributed. Would you like to do so? I placed 2 points in agility and 2 in intelligence. Both attributes were the only reason I survived that encounter. Agility because I was fast and maneuverable, and intelligence because of, well, that's obvious. With that done, I pick up my collar and allocate my latest class skill, Wicked Claws. Class skill acquired. Wicked Claws, level 1. Effect: natural weapons may now be imbued with mana to deal more damage on each hit. Plus 5 base damage, mana. Partially ignores armor and resistances. Cost: 10 stamina, plus 10 mana per minute. Then, I check my status once again, noting the changes before setting off back toward where I came from. Status screen. Name: Buck. Class: Beast Bonded. Race: Canine. Scotch Collie, male. Level: 5. Titles: none. Health: 120. Stamina: 120. Mana: 90. Status: normal. Attributes: strength: 15. Agility: 18. Constitution: 12. Perception: 30. Intelligence: 9. Willpower: 7. Charisma: 17. Luck: 11. Skills: tracking: 9. Athletics: 4. Natural weapons: 5. Sense danger: 2. Stealth: 1. Observe: 1. Tactics: 2. Detect vulnerability: 2. Class skills: improved senses: 1. Adapted observation: 1. Wicked Claws: 1. Spells: none. Perks: none. I make my way back to the human's trail without much difficulty. With my skill in tracking and the messy trail I left in my mad dash through the forest, it doesn't take long. Thankfully, my return journey is uneventful. I occasionally boost my perception with improved senses once again, reading the story and scent my humans left behind. Chapter 4. The human scents are gathered in 3 patches of squashed grass and leaves, 2 big and 1 small, beneath the low-hanging boughs of a pine tree. The strong smell of resin masks their scent further, but it's no match for my super-powered sniffing. They obviously bedded down for the night, then continued after dawn. The humans continued on, lost in the woods. There's the sound of a waterfall nearby, and their trail begins veering toward it. A path slowly emerges, one trodden by hundreds of humans. There are 2 fresh sets of footsteps in the damp earth. One, the father, carrying Katie by the way his footsteps vary in depth, as if his burden wiggled in his arms. And a plush rabbit, Katie's favorite, lies to one side, left behind as their pace quickened. I carefully opened my mouth, maintaining a grip on the collar as I catch a hold of the plush rabbit's torso. A new set of massive footprints joins the trail, chasing them, the same stink of sweat and dead skin as I detected by the car. They're all running now, the monster in pursuit. A roar breaks the stillness of the forest, right ahead of me. I snap out of my tracking trance. I can see them with my own 2 eyes, my pack, and something else. They're on a wooden bridge that passes over a raging river, a waterfall slightly upstream. A hulking gray creature of warty gray flesh ridged with multiple calluses hefts a tree branch club over its head as it bellows at them. I pick up speed. I can't let the ugly beast catch them. I focus on its form, taking in its sweaty scent. Adapted observation delivers a scent-based analysis of the creature. Rock Troll Youth, level 14. Given that there were no signs of a struggle on the way here, I assume that my pack are still only level 1. Which means the rock troll will squash them like frogs beneath a car tire. Muscles burning, I lope toward my pack, interposing myself between them and the enemy. My pack flinches as I approach. I'm different now, bigger, and the warm flame of reunion almost dies in my chest. Then Katie speaks from her father's arms. A single word. Buck? Gently, I drop my cargo at the human's feet and kiss her ankle where her dress hitches up. Then I turn to the troll, menacing it with a vicious growl. The troll steps forward, swinging its club in wide arcs, the wind whistling around the bough of knotted wood. It expects me to flee, but I'd rather paint the bridge red with both our blood than let it get past me and reach my pack. No way in hell! I charge, sliding beneath the wooden bough that comes screaming toward me, feeling the rush of air tickle my fur and smelling the thick, sticky sap that still sticks to its surface. I end up behind and to the side of the troll. I see my pack staring, frozen in shock and terror. I yip at them, run! But they just stand there. The troll kicks me, the impact of its warty foot sending me slamming into the wooden siding of the bridge. I limp to my feet. Chunks of broken baluster fall into the river below, their splash masked by the turbulent roar of water. Buck! Katie cries. I bark at them again, but it's mixed with a yelp as broken ribs grate. Run! The troll, now ignoring me, takes another step toward my pack. The movement breaks them from their stupor, and they back away, picking up the collar and toy as they move. The troll follows them. I leap toward it, pain forgotten. But at the last moment, I remember something. My claws scrape against wood as they lengthen and sharpen, reforged into cruel points. My new class skill. And one more thing. Golden explosions of scent detonate around me, and I see so much more. I slam my perception up to 60, my mana falling by 30 every minute, 40 if you include wicked claws. The troll is too high-leveled, though. I doubt I'll have another minute of mana to use. Time seems slower, the waterfall louder, and every pulse of the troll's blood is all the more distinct. The troll had once been a beacon of sweat and rancid odor. It's so much worse now. Foul scent puffs out from between folds of fat, flesh, and callus every time the monster moves. It's all too much. Everything is exacerbated. The sunlight is nearly blinding, the grain of the wood beneath my paws too distinct and unique, the noise of the churning water verging on deafening. Time trickles past me, like tree sap between my claws, and I stumble, my head bursting from the sensory overload. I feel a faint prickle in my ears and nose as blood begins to pool and run, a repercussion of too high a perception and too low intelligence, perhaps. But it's worth it. I know every inch of the troll's hide, every crack and crevice between dry and crusted callus. The beating of its heart is so loud I can feel it on my skin, and the murmur and gurgle of backwashing blood through sclerotic veins, brushing up against stiffened valves, rivals the waterfall for sheer volume. I push further, adding another 15 mana per minute to boosting my perception. 75 now. I leap forward, intent on tearing the troll's veins from its malodorous bulk. The troll spots me and roars. Loud, too loud. I feel my eardrums burst. And like that, I hear nothing at all. My world becomes noise, and through noise becomes silence. My claws strike the troll's leg, raking it from ankle to knee. Empowered claws score clean lines through its tough, calloused skin. Not too deep, not deep enough to reach the vessels pumping vital blood beneath, but certainly revealing them. Blood flows freely, twice as foul-smelling as I expected. The troll stumbles, leaving a red-smeared footprint on the planks of the bridge. The smooth-planed timber creaks beneath the sudden shift in weight. I tear at the exposed tissue with my teeth. My canines! I take a moment to reflect on the hilarity of the unintentional pun. Puncture further, perforating an artery. The troll's roar vibrates my chest with a bass rumble, unheard, but still felt. And then, the worst happens. The wounds I inflicted heal, Even with improved senses and detect vulnerability working together, seeing every place I can harm an enemy doesn't matter if the harm doesn't last. I jump back as the troll stumps its foot, sending its heavy limb straight through the bridge, down into nothingness, and collapses to one knee. I pause, hoping its momentum will carry it through, but it's not to be. Slowly, the troll raises itself on one hulking foot. I look at my pack, at Katie, at the far end of the bridge, and I know what I have to do. Before the monster can free itself, I dance in front of it, tearing at its fat fingers as I pass. Enraged, it swings at me, no longer trying to stand. It plows through the wooden planks, sending a tidal wave of splinters flying. I dart toward it again, this time standing near the siding. The bridge groans and tilts as the dumb monster continues to destroy the only thing keeping it from the river. I dash to the other side, and the club smashes after me, tearing the structure we stand on to splinters. I bark once at my pack, 5 years of love and memory contained in the single sound, and the bridge falls. Suddenly, there's a chance. The other side of the bridge remains stable, buttressed by a fortuitous support column. With the last of my energy, I leap, and the rock troll's club clips me from behind, the glancing blow nearly tearing my back paw clean off. The leg hangs on by the faintest string of sinew. The force sends me flying over the siding, hurtling toward the river. There's nothing left to lose. I turn up improved senses as far as it will go. With the last of my mana, I hit 110 perception. Perfect. The smell of orange soap and cornflour fills my nose from across the river. Time slows to a near halt, and for 2 blissful seconds that stretch out forever with my impossible perception, I remember. I remember being tiny, a puppy, not a single summer old, staring at a swaddled bundle of warmth and comfort and realizing that I had found my world as I laid the first of many kisses upon her button nose. Her breathing was bad, and they had to take her away. That month was a year in itself, waiting to see whether the candle in my heart would flicker out so soon. It didn't, and I've stayed beside her since. When she was 4, she broke her arm on the garden swing. The swing was cut down, but I stayed with her in the ambulance, growling at the paramedics when they tried to separate me from her. Katie. She gave me purpose, meaning. And when the monsters came, when the cars stopped dead in the streets, she chose me. She saved me from becoming a monster. She saved me. I stare at her, drinking in every inch of her face as I fly toward the water. I see her lips form my name as she strains forward, eyes wide, desperate, already brimming with tears. I wish I could stretch out and kiss those tears away, but I'm too far, and I always will be. "Fuck!" she screams. But of course, I don't hear her. I can see her mouth move. My head is burning from having my perception so high, but it's worth every moment. Just a moment more, my human, Katie. And all too soon, it's gone. Air rushes past me, ruffling my brown, white, and black fur. The water approaches so fast, even with 110 perception. For the pack, my love, my life. For Katie, my everything. I close my eyes as the troll falls beside me like a meteor. I don't hear the impact as we hit the water. I don't hear anything at all. Chapter 5. The waves lap silently against my back paws. The cold water splashes over pebbles, sending cool spray flicking into my fur. Beside me, driftwood litters the pebbled shore, the detritus of the slow part of the river. I should get up. I don't want to. Screens cover my vision, and slowly I read through them. Hidden quest completed. You have sacrificed yourself to protect your loved ones regardless of any repercussions that might befall you. Your love and sacrifices echo throughout the scope of the system. Reward, 5,000 XP. Title gained, unto death. All damage taken in defense of others reduced by 15%. Congratulations! For achieving your first title, you receive a bonus, plus 5,000 XP. Level up, ×2. You have reached level 7 as a beast bonded. Stat points automatically distributed. You have 4 free attributes to distribute. 1 class skill available to be distributed. Would you like to do so? The words float before me, understood but without context. The remnants of another life. Aching, I ease myself to my feet. My movements are lethargic and apathetic, my thoughts clouded. Where am I? Who am I? At the thought, another screen appears. Status screen. Name, Buck. Class, Beast Bonded. Race, Canine, Scotch Collie, Male. Level, 7. Titles, Unto Death. Health, 140. Stamina, 140. Mana, 40. Status, Deaf. -15 perception, cannot hear. Crippled, -10 agility, -30% movement speed. Brain damage, -5 intelligence, amnesia, 19 hours, 42 minutes, 16 seconds. Attributes, strength, 17, agility, 8, constitution, 14, perception, 19, intelligence, 4, willpower, 7, charisma, 17, luck, 11, skills, tracking, 9, athletics, 5, natural weapons, 6, sense danger, 3, stealth, 1, observe, 2, tactics, 3, detect vulnerability, 4. Class skills, improved senses, 1, toughened hide, 1, wicked claws, 1. Spells, none. Perks, none. A name that is not my own hovers at the edge of my mind, too far to touch upon yet obviously there. Irritated by the screens, I swipe at them, clearing them from my vision and unbalancing myself in the process. I look back at my hindquarters. Only 3 working legs. My 4th is slowly reforming, flesh knitting back together. I'm not sure what to do. I can walk, but who knows where? Or I can just lie here. Both options seem equally appealing. Once again, the name intrudes upon the boundaries of my thoughts. I don't know why, but it's impossible to lie still. I stand, and all the colors I see hurt my eyes, but I walk. Something large attacks me, and I swipe it down, feasting on it, not understanding the gray box that appears before me. It doesn't take long for my paw to heal properly, and for my hearing to return. Soon, I'm able to run and hear without issue or impairment. Those status effects are gone, although the brain damage and its amnesia remain. Numbers slowly tick down, 1 second at a time. My attributes have mostly returned to normal, but I'm still missing something. Whatever memories I had, my understanding of the world were excised from my brain by whatever injury I sustained. My body might have healed, but my mind is still a long way off. Not only that, I recognize my mind. I recognize it as more than other creatures, but something within it is out of reach. Things I should know are there but slippery, within the scope of my mind but as intangible as smoke. My consciousness seems like an empty field. It has scope and scale and dimension. It is mine, but part of it is not for me. I know it's there. I know that it once was mine. It's not anymore. Not until the last status effect fades. It is frustrating. And I worry that maybe what I had will not return. That the voices and names, the fragments of memory that feel so familiar yet unreachable, will stay that way forever. The mystery of the name I do not know haunts me, and my status screen tells a story. My class, my title, my high tracking skill, all of it. I was looking for someone, connected to someone, and they are not here. Rather than wander in circles, roving aimlessly, I return to the pebbled bank of the river. with nothing but a purpose I do not remember and can only infer, I follow it upstream, climbing as the terrain curves up into a canyon with the river at its center. A bridge, splintered and broken, spans the water. I approach it. Blood stains many of the ruined planks. I sniff at it, and I instantly recognize the smells. My own blood, and that of something foul. I was here. Beneath the sweet coppery cloy of blood, I find something, a scent, 3 of them. There's a rustle from across the river, and my ears perk up, swiveling to detect the noise as my gaze snaps up toward its source. A human stands there, pale skin covered by hair and fabric. The wind blows toward me, and I sniff, but his scent is not one I recognize. Then the human spots me and stills. Ever so slowly, he lifts a long metal tube. I stare at him, head tilted inquisitively. The metal tube flashes, spitting fire and a whining round of metal that stings my side. The human curses, and I turn to flee. I might not remember what happened here, but I know when I'm unwelcome. As I run, I pick up my own trail and that of the 3 other scents on the bridge. The scents weaken the farther I go, and it becomes clear I was following the 3 humans for whatever reason. I feel unsure. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. But I forge ahead, following the path I took to its source. The scent of the humans is weaker when I reach the car, but my own trail is still pretty clear. I must have been running hard to catch up with them. Though I still wonder for what purpose. Their scent stops inside the car, and I've hit a dead end on that front. One of the wheels holds a residual stink of some small animal caught beneath its tracks, but the scent it laid along the road is too faded to track. Not that I have to. I can follow my pursuit of the car just fine. Not that I need to. The road continues on straight for quite a ways, no tributary streets leading into or away from it. So, I follow the road until I reach an intersection, sniff around to verify which way I had first come from, then continue to follow the road. The first thing I hear are gunshots. They come from within the town, where a sleek metal building towers over the rest of the houses. But the expected pain searing across my side does not come. They're not firing at me. Reassured, I crouch lower, creeping into the town, foregoing speed for stealth. I'm still wary, though. The shining metal construction is out of place compared to the plaster and brick that sprawls past it. What's more, the gunfire issues from that direction, along with shouts and growls, carried on stray gusts of wind. I creep between buildings, following my trail to its source, only to be unpleasantly surprised by a threatening hiss from above my head. Too quick to dodge, a lizard-like creature leaps from the wall it had been clambering on. It descends on me, the gripping pads of its dewdrop feet extended toward me, unbroken by claws but tinged a sickly yellow. Acting on instinct, unable to evade in time, I get a look at the creature, surprised by the sentence of smell that fills my nose. Yellow-toed lacerta, level 9. Its toes plop against me with force, bowling me over. Its attack completely bypasses my skin and fur. An insidious creeping numbness spreads across the place I was struck. I give the affected area an experimental lick, but feel nothing except a tingle across my tongue. The paralytic agent imparted by its toes does its job. My hackles rise, and I snarl at the lacerta, activating wicked claws. Murderous energy surges down my legs, lengthening and empowering my natural weapons. The lacerta leaps again, but I roll to the side, now wary of its paralytic touch. I give it an experimental swat with my left paw as it passes, and my empowered claws skitter off strong scales for a second before tearing through the flesh beneath like dried leaves. I could get used to this. The lacerta gives a pained hiss. Viscous yellow blood oozes from its wounds like tree sap. I make a note to myself to not come in contact with the blood. Its color is too similar to its toes to be a coincidence. We circle each other warily, then the lacerta's tongue flicks back to touch the blood at its side. I take the opportunity to lunge, but quick as a startled snake, the lizard monster's tongue retracts, gooey blood coating its length. With a foamy whistle, a jet of part saliva, part paralytic blood shoots out of its mouth, and I dodge just in time. The thing is fast. Realizing I have 4 points to spend on my attributes, I dump half into agility and the rest into constitution, the latter in the hope that it will help ward off the paralytic effect. Sure enough, the margins of the numbness recede slightly, only to be replaced by pain. It's then that I realize something is off. The sulphurous smell of burning hair fills my nostrils and I glance at my side. It's an angry red mass of sizzling skin, melted hair, and dangerous-looking blisters. The paralytic agent is apparently only one part of a 2-pronged attack, the other being a potent acid to damage the 𝗓𝗓𝗃's prey. As if to confirm my thoughts, the 𝗓𝗓𝗃's mouth gapes open again as it hisses at me once more, revealing flat, stubby teeth that have no hope of biting through prey that hasn't been significantly softened. Aiming to head off another attack that might paralyze something more important, my legs or my skull, for example, I strike, leaping forward to rake my claws against one leg. The 𝗓𝗓𝗃 raises its foot to ward me away, but not fast enough. I feel my claws scrape against bone, savoring the elastic snap of severed tendon. It crumples, but the monster has another surprise in store for me. Its tail whips around, slamming me into its side. As if waiting for this moment, the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 drops onto its flank, 3 feet reaching out to encompass me in a paralytic embrace. I wriggle away, but not in time to avoid getting tagged on the forepaw. Before the quick-acting paralytic sets in, I retaliate, sending several sticky yellow toes pattering to the ground. Blood oozes from the severed stumps on the 𝗓𝗓𝗃's foot. The 𝗓𝗓𝗃 struggles toward me, but the lack of one working foot and having no toes on another significantly impedes its motion, the sinuous alternating step of the lizard becoming a clumsy stumble. My own front foot is in a bad way too, now numb and slowly dissolving. But in this, I have an advantage. Having already experienced walking with 3 feet, I have a passing familiarity with it. The lizard has none and is in far worse shape. I half hop, half wobble backward, letting the wounded 𝗓𝗓𝗃 try to angrily close the distance, and I wait for my opportunity. Growing impatient, it lunges forward, overbalancing as I dash past it. This time, I'm wary of the tail and just about manage to dodge it, even with my agility crippled by having only 3 working feet. Then I turn. As expected, the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 lashes its tail back, trying to get me in the returning motion. Instead, I arrest its motion with my teeth, tearing chunks of its tail and spitting it away before too much of its blood comes in contact with me. The 𝗓𝗓𝗃 hisses at me again. The combination of its ill-advised rush and its double sweep with its tail sends it collapsing to the ground before it has the chance to steady itself. Even with the precautions I took, my jaw is turning numb. But I don't need it anymore. I climb onto the back of the downed 𝗓𝗓𝗃, letting my claws puncture its scales and spine with an atavistic relish. My weight pins it. With one leg incapacitated, I can't swipe at it as I would like to, and with my jaw partially paralyzed, I can't gather enough grip strength. But walking, I can do that. And I walk with extreme malice, especially since the pain-blocking and immobilizing effect of the paralytic is wearing off. My skin feels as if it's on fire, but it's only pain. If I let the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 get the upper hand, I'm done for. After a second or two, I get lucky or accurate. I'm not sure. A claw stabs into the lizard's spine, and the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 gives a screeching hiss, finally mustering the strength to throw me off. It doesn't go well. For the 𝗓𝗓𝗃, that is. Still buried halfway into its spinal column, the claws of my hind feet catch, then glide gratingly through bone and the spongy cord at its center. I'm thrown away, injured by the landing, but the back half of the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 is completely limp. I lie there, paws tingling from contact with its blood, but I'm not too worried. No matter how quickly the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 might regrow its spine, I have little doubt the paralytic effect will wear off faster. It does. I limp toward it on unsteady legs, the pads of my feet dissolving from walking on small droplets of its oozing yellow blood. Then I take a swipe at its head. It's slightly smarter than I gave it credit for. Waiting for me, it releases a jet of spit and blood that sends a stream of numbness down my neck and shoulder. But it's too late for the creature. All it takes is one swipe, then two, and its brain lies exposed for my teeth to sink into. I'm still unable to get a good grip strength, but I don't need to. I'm too numb to shake my neck, rip my teeth through the brain as my instincts scream at me to do. I don't need to. Brains react badly to being squeezed by teeth. Who knew? The paralytic blood only helps me, locking my jaw into place as the lizard thrashes its head. A spasm beyond its control racks the upper half of its body. I'm sent flying once more, this time with a lump of spongy brain matter trapped between my teeth, unable to be released, and a new notification before my eyes. I take a moment to heal and collect myself. My teeth ache as they dissolve, but once they're gone, the torn chunk of 𝗓𝗓𝗃 brain falls to the ground. I shake my head, waiting for the pain in my jaw to subside. Once I feel fit to continue and the pain is an unpleasant memory, I continue following the trail of scent. It's been partially erased by the scuffle, but it continues farther down the road. I leave the body of the monstrous lizard, not wanting to eat or touch the meat, and plod forward, keeping an eye on the surrounding walls. The encounter with the 𝗓𝗓𝗃 was surprisingly harrowing. Despite being only 2 levels higher than me, it was well adapted to close combat with its ability to paralyze with a touch and spit its own blood. If it had gotten a proper grip on me. I don't give the subject any further thought. In front of me lies a house, untouched by the apocalypse except for a broken window. And unlike the road, where I can only find my trail, here I find the other 3 scents from the bridge. After cocking my head to listen for any abnormal sounds inside and detecting nothing, I clear the sill and the protruding shards of glass, landing easily on wooden floor. This place was obviously the home of the 3 humans and myself. Their smell permeates the walls and floor, and every scrap of fabric nearby. But I have more senses than smell, and I have the brain power to interpret them, even if my memory is shot to hell. Pictures hang on the walls. 3 humans, 2 big, 1 small. I stare at them, committing the faces to memory, feeling a twinge of familiarity from all 3 despite my inability to remember them. And something that looks like a smaller version of me is there too. Sometimes with just one of them, sometimes with all 3. Deep down on a visceral level, I know they're my pack, but they're not here. So, I set off running. Chapter 6. I make good headway back to the bridge, narrowly dodging the ambush of another yellow-toed 𝗓𝗓𝗃 as I'm about to leave town. I give it a wide margin instead of fighting it. There's no point in risking my life for little gain. As the sky darkens, I want to continue running, but I don't want to push my luck either. So, I curl up beneath a bush and wait for morning. Morning comes without fanfare, unless you're in the habit of calling birds a brass band. I rise without ceremony despite a vague tiredness that begs me to rest a few hours more, and like that, I'm running once again. There's no need for sniffing around, trying to make sure I'm going the right way. I've been here before, I know I'm going the right direction, and I make excellent headway. My speed increases when I place my latest class skill point in Swiftfoot. Running at an unprecedented pace, it's only a few hours before I reach the bridge. The gun-toting human is gone, but the bridge is just as broken as it used to be. Still, it might be possible. I take a moment to check the distance between the broken pieces, careful not to look down. It's a long way across, but I'm strong and faster than I've ever been. If I time the leap right, I'll probably make it. Just. I walk backward for a running start, then I sprint as fast as I can go. I time the jump perfectly, and I immediately know it isn't enough. I'm several feet shy of the other side as I drop with a yelp, and all the air is pushed out of my lungs as I crash against a wooden brace. By sheer fortune, I teeter on a small length of wood between two support columns, with nowhere else to go. Slowly, carefully, I push myself to my feet, careful not to overbalance lest I end up tumbling headfirst into the river. That sounds like a bad idea. I've reached the other side, but where I wanted to land is 15 feet above me, and there's no convenient way to get anywhere. Well, damn. I pace up and down the beam, gut turning circles with the feeling of failure. The water roils below me. I could jump. I should jump. Maybe I'll end up on the pebbled riverbank like last time, but it's impossible to tell whether I could safely reach the riverbank a second time. I don't even remember if I know how to swim. And I'll lose nothing but time if I try something crazy first. I do have brain damage after all. I activate Wicked Claws and dig my left forefoot into the side of the wooden support column that holds up the bridge. I give an experimental tug and it holds. Just. There's a little bit of slipping as expected. That means I'll have to move fast. I follow with my right, using my strength to pull me up until the claws of all 4 limbs are embedded in the thick wood. Then I climb, 1 foot at a time, slowly working upward until I reach the top and a ceiling of planks and woodwork blocks my progress. Now, for the tricky part. I grasp a supporting strut with my teeth, jaw aching with the strain as I carve out chunks of wood above me with a freed-up paw, letting the broken timbers fall into the river below with a splash. Finally, muscles aching, I cut a small hole to wiggle through, and I'm on the other side. I'm cut up badly from the tight squeeze through, but I've made it. Tail wagging with excitement, I locate my pack's trail and chase it, the inconvenience at the bridge forgotten. Several critters try to block my path, but they're low level and are easily cleared with a few casual swipes. I'm too pumped up to care about such minor things now. The urge to be with my group is strong even though I don't remember who they are. It spurs me on, so I hurtle through trees toward my destination. The bond from my class sings in my blood, telling me I'm close to someone whose name I don't remember, someone who means the world to me, telling me I'm home. I keep on running, chasing the feeling. Their scents stretch out before me, strong, fresh, and one in particular. Oranges, cornflowers, and a good deal less soap. My tail is wagging so fast I'm having difficulty running. I barrel through the woods on the other side of the river, breaking into a small clearing with a campsite at its center, and hear a voice that makes my world stand still. Soft, tremulous, questioning. Buck? Not recognizing anything else, I recognize that. Katie.